It's fun.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast, coming at you loud and proud, bringing strong opinions and salty humor to Ohio State football. These fellas were born and bred in the Buckeye State, and their brand of banter is guaranteed to entertain and excite you. But if you're not a Buckeye, don't bother. Visit us at thebuckeyecast.com and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at The Buckeye Cast to stay up to date on all things Ohio State football. And be sure to subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
Here we are, back again. Buckeye Nation, did you miss us? I know it's been a while. We missed you guys. I have a new segment I forgot to tell you, Jeff and Sean, about, and I might as well tell you guys at the same time. We have Twitter questions, so stay tuned till the end of the show. I have three Twitter questions that came in, and these are fucking peaches, let me tell you.
Nice. Grab back.
Yep. So you guys are going to enjoy this. But anyway, let's jump right into it. We're here to recap the spring game. A lot of this is just going to be opinion of who looked like shit, who looked good, who looked like shit and looked good, and we'll run through especially the QB depth and some of the positions of importance. So to jump right into it. Obviously, high-scoring affair. Defense got lit up pretty good, but to their credit, they were running vanilla, pretty basic stuff. As we know, they run man coverage, man-to-man across the board. So didn't see a lot of stunts and blitzes and things like that. So it's kind of like NFL Pro Bowl rules, where you can only rush 4 or something. It's the way it seemed anyway. But so the offense is combined for 650 passing yards. Pretty impressive. 7 touchdowns. Look good. Sean, what was your takeaway? You actually attended the game. First, I'd like to hear what you thought of the ambiance. What was the crowd like there?
I think it was great. It was the first time I'd been to a spring game. $5 tickets. Took the wife and kids down there. It was great, man. It's the first time the kids have been exposed to that type of environment. You get the OHIO going around the stadium, and it was cool. I think the $8 beers are a bit much, but fuck, I still drank them.
At least they got beer, right?
That's right. I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have, but no. I thought it was a great crowd. It was neat. The halftime stuff was really fun with some of the contests they had. The kids had a ball. I had a blast. Thumbs up all the way. I think the biggest winner thing to take out of the spring game is the recruiting that was going on during it. And I don't know how you don't go to Ohio State.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, we did lock up a couple guys that weekend. Josh Proctor was kind of out of left field. The kid from Oklahoma. I think OU thought they had him locked up over there, and maybe he didn't put in enough work on him. And 4-star kid, you got to put him away. You let him escape, and then that could open a fucking tunnel over to Ohio real quick.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Open that pipeline.
Yeah. Hey, do they serve liquor and beer at the stadium?
I can't say that I noticed any liquor, but it was a spring.
I can't say that would be a good idea.
Not everything was open.
Yeah.
Most of it was, I think, but some of it wasn't, and a lot of it was like kiosk stuff. But main things, I don't think were open.
I was just curious.
It was a minimized selection of stuff that you get in your seat.
Yeah, that's cool. So, what'd you guys think of the Kevin Wilson offense? How'd that look to you? You noticed some differences from last year, Jeff?
The first thing that stood out to me, and then they talked about it during the broadcast as well, is the use of the tight end. Having our starting tight end Ball out this spring, seeing Alexander and Farrell both, a lot of targets. Which Ball's a great pass catching tight end. So it looks like there might be more emphasis or more targets towards that area. And other than that, a lot of it did look the same. I haven't went through and really broke down formations to see the little nuances, but a lot of the offense looked the same. They looked like we were able to run with tempo, kind of when they wanted to, and overall the quarterbacks looked real good, I thought. But it's pretty much an offensive advantage game with the non-contact and stuff like that. So, but I saw the quarterbacks look good, which is what they should. So.
Well, I think last year's spring game looked a lot like this. I mean, it's what you do in the spring game. You throw the ball. You try and figure out your passing game.
Right. Exactly.
What you do. So they were airing it out all day.
Yeah.
Couple gimmies. That one touchdown in the back of the end zone. You guys saw it on tape. I saw it live. I was right down there, but that didn't look like a touchdown to me.
No, that was McLaurin, right? In the back of the end zone.
From Haskins?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a nice play. It was a nice ball. Haskins throws a great ball, man, on those deep balls. But yeah, that was not a catch. He was juggling it and landing out of bounds at the same time.
Did they have the slow-mo on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was no good. But again, you talk about home field refs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, who's cutting the check? It really matters. Somebody is actually cutting the check.
When they saw the penalty,
didn't play out. If it was whoever had the big money, Phil Knight's team would have won.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Lou Holtz made comment about that after the game. But I saw a couple times when they're calling penalties and throwing flags, and Herb was like, "No, pick it up. We're gonna stay right here."
Yeah.
So pretty, very controlled game. A lot less contact.
Yeah.
During
that's what I thought. It was very, very
schools.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Real quick whistle, which I don't really have a problem with. I don't need these guys out here smashing each other. Right. I saw two DBs for Alabama. Well, no, two DBs and a receiver got hurt on a play because they went full go and a guy DB tried to almost horse collar the receiver down. I mean, full contact. So
yeah,
a lot more contact than some of the other spring games.
But safety or corner
I don't care to see that.
Yeah, that was Sheffield. Kendall Sheffield blew up Antonio Williams on that little screen pass.
Yeah, he did.
That kid's a baller, man. He looks like he could play tomorrow.
Yeah, Dixon got him beat for one time for touchdown, but
yeah.
Well, you don't finish anything, so it's just so hard to tell. It's when you're coming into the contact, everybody's slowing up, and I don't know. Yeah, it's made for throwing the ball. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Sean. Did you hear the audible groan when the first couple plays they were doing two-hand touch?
Yeah, I was like,
that was hilarious. It came through the TV. I heard the entire stadium go like, "Oh."
Yeah, it was pretty light. I expected it to be a little more physical than that, but there was, other than that Sheffield play, the pads weren't a cracking, as they say.
Right. Yeah, I thought
I think as much as they do in practice during the spring, I don't see a problem with it. I don't mind not seeing as much contact because. And again, it's bound to happen. Somebody's gonna get hurt.
It's just a big end of the spring ball type deal. It's supposed to be a fun, good atmosphere. Maybe they're pretty much solidified with where they're at, but I would think if you're a guy battling out for a position, and I know there's a few of those out there, that maybe you want to go hard. You want to show the coach, but like you said, maybe he learns all that in practice. But
they do. They went 11 on 11 full scrimmage a couple of days prior, or earlier in that week,
right,
leading up, and that was their full go. Probably where they got more out of that scrimmage than they might have even the spring game. When it comes to running the ball and interior defense and offense. Now this game, obviously, you want to showcase like full go pass catching, but I think that scrimmage probably told them just as much as the game did about the other positions on the field.
Right.
more it's full go, and then with time and down and distance and everything.
Right.
Well, yeah. Now everybody's going pretty hard out there. I mean, I'm not saying they weren't going hard. They're going hard out there, but they're having fun. Quarterbacks don't got to worry about getting looking little Bosa smashing them.
Right. Well, that's what caused that JT duck for an interception. Was Hubbard blew up Matt Burrell over that. I believe Burrell was at right tackle on that play. Hubbard just pushed him right back into JT, even though obviously JT's wearing the black non-contact jersey. It doesn't mean you can't throw your own player, his own player, into him. And obviously you saw the duck that fluttered out there as an easy pick.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and that stuff just worries me about hitting elbows and stuff.
I don't know if we're on the quarterbacks yet of the game, but the game was all about the quarterbacks, I thought, and I feel like Haskins and Burrow both look better than JT Barrett in real time. Just viewing it live, Burrow completed some long balls he probably shouldn't have that were underthrown, but the young corner just got toasted. But JT, I don't know. I know he's our guy, but to me, that's what's either going to win us the national championship or not.
Right. Well, I think in that vein, you have to look at his record as a starter. Was he 27-4 or something like that as a starter? It's something outrageous. Yeah. I mean, you can't replace that kind of experience. I don't care how good a ball Joey Football or Haskins throws. They do not have in-game experience like that.
I'll agree with that.
Right, and I mean, if Haskins outperforms JT in the fall, if all the coaches are in agreement that he's gonna play, but I don't think that'd be the case. They're not gonna. I mean, the coaches aren't gonna just say, well, because JT's our guy, even though we think Haskins is better, we're gonna play JT. No, he'll play. He'll beat him out if he's better. I mean, but the coaches, that's every day, every scrimmage, every drill, everything that the coaches see.
certainly the starts and the record has some weight, but you know what? A lot of those wins we got last year weren't because of him, weren't because of JT Barrett. He was probably the reason that we were barely hanging on in some of them. How poorly he played against Michigan State. Just down the stretch last year. Really all of last year, outside the first couple games, he looked mediocre all year. And that team's just too freaking good to look that mediocre, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think there were so many factors. We've killed this subject since last season. I think obviously his mechanics sucked, but I think that is also a product of Tim Beck being the quarterback coach, when in fact he is not a quarterback coach. I mean, everybody in Nebraska was screaming that from the rooftops when we hired him. Remember? I mean, he's not a coach. He was hired to recruit Texas for us, and he did that well. So, and on top of that, the O-line had one of its worst seasons in quite a while. Starting a freshman is a problem. So I think it's a combination of things. We can run through these numbers real quick on the quarterbacks. Really not a lot of exciting stuff. JT just had 13 drop backs. He had a couple pressures. Obviously no sacks, no hits. 3 incompletions. Scrambled. He had 2 overthrows. Did just throw for 1 TD. Not outstanding numbers, but he's going against the number 1 defense, so I don't expect either side to put up gaudy numbers. When you get the 2s and the 3s in there going against each other, that's when things get a little lopsided. That's why I think we saw such great numbers from Burrow and Haskins. Any comments on JT's performance? Anything else?
Well, I think Sean summed it up.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't think I didn't see a glaring discrepancy in Haskins versus JT. I thought like I said earlier, I thought all the quarterbacks looked good. Haskins does throw a beautiful ball. And maybe if we get to some point in this year, I still don't know if they're going to have Haskins listed above Burrow, because Burrow didn't really do a whole lot to hurt himself as the backup. I assume he started the spring as the backup. I think the depth chart. I think the depth chart now, it looks, JT one, and and how the famous Buckeye, or Burrow or Haskins. Like they'll have a couple other positions where they pretty much just list two number twos. So
the good news is, I think Burrow and Haskins are both look really good. And if JT, doesn't improve, at least get back to your freshman form, your senior year. If you didn't get back to that, I think one of those guys. At some point,
it wasn't like
at some point you've changed our coordinators, you've changed coaches. At some point, it's got to be this guy doesn't have the ability anymore. At something, how many more changes can you make and then blame it on this, blame it on that? At some point, it goes on the guy you've been having quarterback.
All right. Well, to touch on Joey Burrow and Dwayne Haskins quickly, they had the bulk of the passing options here. Joey had 24 dropbacks, 14 completions, scramble. They had a design run. He was pressured, got sacked twice. I guess that's two-hand touch sacks, so not sure how legit those are. Somebody frying up some eggs or what?
No.
Sounded like it. So Burrow had 3 touchdowns. Haskins had 3. Haskins had 23 completions on 34 dropbacks. Looked pretty smooth back there. I wasn't a big fan of some of his plays he made when he stepped up in the pocket. His things kind of opened up over the middle. He was kind of inconsistent and a little inaccurate when he stepped up. So hopefully they clean that up and get his footwork working correctly. But what else do we want to talk about with the spring game? Tight ends were used a lot. Jeff touched on that. That was interesting. I liked the tempo. Tempo was definitely picked up this year, and the players have been saying as much in the last couple interviews segments they've had. So that's good to see. Some more screen passes. That was nice. And the vertical passing game was obviously the point of the passing attack.
They really seemed where I was sitting featuring Paris Campbell a lot early on.
Yeah,
trying to get the ball to him. Seems like he's gonna be the new guy.
What do you think of his performance?
I thought he did really well. I don't. Did he drop a ball? Maybe.
I'm sure he did, but I was very impressed with his consistency catching the ball. It was much better than we've seen in the past.
I think he's going to be very dynamic back there. I think he's a little bit stronger, bigger than Samuel, but not quite as game-changing speed as Samuel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those are huge shoes to fill. So we'll see how that works out. I'm curious to see how he runs between the tackles, if they're going to run him out of the H or if he's just going to run like jet sweeps or something. So.
I still tell you, man, McCall with live eyes looks fast.
Yeah.
I don't know how he looked. You guys saw him, but he's fast.
Right. Yeah, they got him working in as a running back now, and they're going to move him out to work with the receivers in fall camp. So
move out to the H in the fall, right?
So you think H will end up being Paris Campbell and then McCall?
Yeah, that's what they're hinting at. McCall says he's going to take J.K. Dobbins' jersey number, by the way, and they asked him, so what number is Dobbins going to get? And he goes, I don't care.
Of course.
Dude's a fucking comic, man. He's loaded with quotes. So, yeah, I'm really curious to see how they work in DeMario McCall, even if they use him as a backup to Weber. You know,
I think he'll get some carries behind Weber.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree. I think we're going to see him at both positions, but probably in a backup at both positions right now.
Yeah, that's kind of where I got it.
Pierce Campbell does look like the next H.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I really like J.K. Dobbins. I like seeing him. Seeing his high school tapes, and then you read about him, you're like, "God, he's a good kid, great career." Then he finally getting to see him running Ohio State colors. He looks real good running the ball, I think.
Yeah.
And like Herb said from day one, he's going to see the field next year.
Mm-hmm.
There's been really no doubt that he's going to not play.
What's his name's gonna have a tough time ever really making an impact at Ohio State. Antonio Williams.
I agree. Yeah. Even if he is 100% healthy, I don't know how he competes with unseating Weber or even competing with J.K. Dobbins and all the stuff that he brings to the field.
And then McCall on different situations, and other than he's probably the biggest hammer of all of them, right?
Probably, yeah.
But I don't know if he runs like it. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to be the hammer, you still got to run really hard, and I don't know if he does.
Yeah.
I've really seen it.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems like he's constantly got like little injuries that keep him out for a day here, a day there, and the guys just keep passing him on the depth chart because he's constantly, taking it easy or has to go through, and like there's always the hamstring, I think, and there's other little things like he takes advantage of like these little injuries. It seems like he misses a lot of time, and I think guys are just going to keep passing it.
Yeah.
Watching Cardale at the halftime of the spring game, out there slinging it.
What did he throw it, like 70 yards without even warming up or trying? Without even stepping into it?
Like 66.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, and there was like one step. I mean, it was like...
Yeah, they were inside that little circle, right? Whoa. Are we in the Matrix?
Just going freak time.
He's in boots, too.
That's right, he was in
like work boots.
Timberlands, yeah.
I don't know what the audio... I get it from you guys all the time.
Oh.
But,
So, let's touch on a few guys that I thought caught my eye. What's up?
Wow.
My spring game MVP, obviously, this should be no surprise to anyone that's ever listened to the show before, is Johnny Dixon. Dude lit it up. He was running all over the field, torching dudes. He had those corners all twisted up. Really loved that first touchdown. Was it Burrow dropped? No, it was Haskins, I'm sorry. Down the left sideline, dropped one right in the fucking basket for 6. That was nice. Then he had a couple nice catches on slant routes where he made the catch and then juked a couple guys. That dude is fast, man. We've never seen it before, I don't think, but that dude has some shake to him. Besides just straight on speed.
Yeah, but better put some ice on them fucking knees.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he was laid up like.
Probably hasn't walked since.
Yeah, right. They just stuck his legs right in the ice machine. But yeah, he caught my eye. Obviously, flashing all over. Paris Campbell, we talked about, definitely is going to be a go-to guy, and we're going to need to see him do his job early on. Matt Burrell. I talked about him getting lit up by Hubbard earlier, but apparently he's competing for the right guard spot with Demetrius Knox. And Knox is going through some off-the-field classroom issues, so this could be a real thing between these two guys. I believe they came in the same class, right?
I think Knox was a year. I think Knox was a year before Burrell.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. But
Knox came in with DeMarco Jones in that class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Dame Webb and all them.
Yeah.
14 class. Burrow came in the 15.
Yeah, so it seems that Burrell is really pushing him, and if classroom issues are going to be a problem, then I'm sure they'll default to Burrell. Jordan Fuller, thought looked good. I like to see him flashing around at safety.
Well, back to that O-line situation.
Yeah.
Update me on what's going on with Pridgeon. Was Pridgeon in there? Does he got a spot? Why not him?
He was in there, I believe. Yeah, but they said that he's had trouble picking up the playbook.
And they said, and what I'm looking at as far as a rough estimate, too deep. After the spring game, Pridgeon's not anywhere in the too deep on the O line.
Really?
Yeah, that's very curious.
Right now they still have Knox at right guard with Burrow behind him. Brandon Bowen at right tackle behind Prince. Josh Myers, freshman, behind Michael Jordan at left guard, and Joshua Alibi behind Jamarco Jones at left tackle.
That tells you something. If some dude just switched from the D line to O line, and he's already second string left tackle, but Pridgeon can't crack any other position.
And I thought we were talking about this guy's pretty much got a spot. Like,
yeah.
As much as well touted as he is, I mean, a lot of hype.
Mm-hmm.
He was the number one JUCO, wasn't he? Number one JUCO lineman the year before.
I think so.
Something like that. I mean, he was really super highly rated.
And Andy was like, they were saying, oh, he could play guard or tackle. So you'd think out of the 4 spots, he could find the 2 deep somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we got a true freshman and a guy that just came over from defense on the left side as backup. So, both highly.
They got Alibi as the backup left tackle.
Yeah.
11 Warriors does. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that kid's skill set is, but damn, I hope
6'5", 300 doesn't help. Yeah. Well, let's jump over. We got to finish up the receivers real quick. Obviously, Benjamin Victor, stud. I'm surprised Austin Mack has not shown up more.
He looked like he wasn't going that hard. He had the one play, I forget, but it was like down in my end zone corner, and I was like, what the fuck was that? Half-assed bullshit.
I don't remember that play, but I just haven't seen him really do much. You know, this kid is big. He's 6'2", 215. He's got size. We see him blocking downfield all the time. I believe he's on special teams still. But
he played really well on special teams last year.
Yeah.
EGW was flying around out there.
Yeah, I played him at the H quite a bit. He looked good, flying around.
And he's not on the 2 deep either.
Right. Well, he just made the position change. I think it's going to be a while till he cracks that with Campbell and McCall both up there.
Yeah, I see him getting on the field. Just, have some specific plays for somebody like him that's going to fit his exact skill set. But I could definitely see him getting the ball. Austin Mack, they got backing up Victor. And we also were looking at Terry McLaurin and Paris Campbell as your receivers, with KJ Hill backing up McLaurin and DeMario backing up Paris.
I like KJ.
And that sounds about right.
I like KJ too.
He's got good hands, man. EGW looked good running that jet sweep, man. He was getting to the edge quickly.
He's quick.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
So we'll see if any of these freshmen come in. Grimes or anybody can move that. But it's interesting to see the field. I think there's going to be a lot of redshirting the freshman receivers. But that Jalen Harris and that Gardner, is it French? The kid out? Is it just Gardner or is it Garnier? I don't know.
It's a lie. Garnier.
Garnier.
He's from a little town in Texas.
He smells so fresh.
Right. Okay. Grenadine.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Elijah.
that Brendan White too. Brendan White is is going to see the field. He's not redshirting this year.
No, he was out there. He looked pretty good. I thought it was Noah Brown a few times because he's wearing number 80. But
about that size,
he is. He's got some size to him. D-line. I mean, both Larry Johnson and Kerry Combs both are just gushing over the depth they have in their position rooms. D-line.
It is pretty retarded. I mean,
this is fucked.
I think we're about to witness the best D-line Ohio State's ever had. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be insane. If not, then they're way underachieving. The amount of depth that's there.
When Herb comes out, when Herb comes out and says it in every press conference that our 4 DNs could be starting anywhere in the country, that's not hyperbole, man. That's real shit. You know, he's not just hyping them up for their draft stock. So,
right.
So you got Hubbard, Holmes. I'm interested to see how they're going to run this 5-man D-line that they keep kind of whispering about but not really talking about out to the media, where they run 4 DNs and then Draymond or BB Landers in the nose. That sounds insane, dude. I don't know if you just run that against third and long packages or what, but this is getting cray-cray.
Most of the teams we play, if we ran that the entire game, we'd kill them.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're running power formations the whole fucking game. We'd kill them with that.
Yeah. You don't have 4.
Well, I mean, obviously, and obviously you don't run it all game because you want to be able to sub these guys in for each other to keep them fresh. But as far as the D linemen, Tracy Sprinkle's back this year. Michael Hill played well last year. Both seniors. Robert Landers, Jermont Jones, and then even in those other guys.
Von Hamilton. And I feel so good about our D line. Because I like every one of their backups as well. Every one of them.
Yep.
I'm super comfortable. I mean, not knock on wood. Don't let them get hurt, but I'm super comfortable with all their backups.
Oh, by the way, Tracy Sprinkle's back.
Yeah.
So Michael Hill's been in the doghouse.
We got 5 guys I like on the interior, and at least 5 or 6 I like on the outside.
Right.
At the end. The top 4 go without saying, but then you got guys like Coop and get the other. You got some guys.
Yeah, Cooper looked good in the game. He got in late. I forgot how big that dude was. Him and Rashad Berry. Those 2 are the next studs coming in. Those guys are going to get some playing
with
time.
Chase Young.
I'll tell you who looks big as hell, and I can't believe they haven't. I think they still got him listed at the end. Tell me if I'm wrong, but Jayshon Cornell looks like a big man.
Oh, I forgot about him. Yeah, they moved him down inside.
Yeah,
that's where he should be. He's out there. He's a big boy.
Yeah, they're pretty happy with him so far in the spring. He'll definitely get some reps. But this is going to be like a solid rotation of dudes, like just waves and waves of D linemen, quality D linemen at that, coming through. You know.
Yeah, this is the Alabama D lines of the last couple of years, where you have just NFL talent just in different stages of years in school. It's the same thing. Our D line, I think our starting D line is probably close to the best in the country. Our depth should put us, we're
with our depth.
Depends on who you pick. I mean, our depth is second to no one.
If you took our second string, quote unquote second string, the guys that are rotating in, I think that second string would be a top 10 D line in the country.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So Jalen Holmes and Bosa on the edge, and
those guys could go play anywhere.
Yeah, Landers and Davon Hamilton or one of those other guys in the middle. If that's where we were sitting with just that second string going into this season, I might complain about the depth, but I wouldn't be like really worried about our starting situation there.
Definitely. Right. It's gonna be the foundation of our defense to help out our defensive backfield. But a corner's best friend is a pass rush. So
no doubt about that.
If you don't have to stay with a guy for 4 seconds because the quarterback's already on the run or on the ground, it makes your job a lot easier, and you can you can relax a little more and focus better.
I think that's going to be so huge. Our front seven's going to let those back guys grow a little bit, but they've got all the talent in the world too. They just don't have any experience. They just haven't done it. And when they finally get it, good night, man. This defense is going to be good.
Right.
And if they get some of these young kids in there, I don't know. I mean, I heard they're talking pretty big on some of our guys from last year that none of us really liked, or Arnett and Ward.
Yeah.
Webb's getting high praise. Webb's my boy. Always loved Webb. He's going to have a huge year.
I think Ward and Arnett are going to be our starting corners.
Okay.
Ward and who?
Arnett.
Ward and Arnett, I think, are going to be our game one starting corners.
Kerry Combs said that they could probably rotate 6 right now.
Right. That'll get straightened out. But
what's his name had some plays?
I mean, they're not going to be
the transfer kid.
Yeah.
Kendall
Sheffield.
Yeah. That kid.
Yeah, he's already penciled in the rotation. So the rotation is going to go like this, at least as of right now. What Kerry Combs has led on is it's Ward, Arnett, Kendall Sheffield, and I thought he said Okuda are like a rotation. So just like last year, remember, Lattimore was technically the starter because he was there on the field for the first play, but then they started rotating in, every so many plays, Ward and Arnett, and obviously you had Conley on the other side. But this rotation is pretty sick when you look at the young guys, like you just touched on. Kendall Sheffield's like a junior coming in as far as age and experience. I know he's just a sophomore, but he's got the red shirt under his belt. And then you got Okuda and Wade that looked inconsistent in the spring game, but they did come back and make some plays late in the game. Was it Wade that knocked away that pass?
But those guys' skill set, I think Wade or Ward and Arnett can hold down the fort, so to speak. But I think when these other guys, Sheffield, Wade, Okuda, get going, they're going to be, top 10 pick guys when they get drafted. They're going to be unbelievable corners, like we're used to having. I don't feel that Ward and Arnett have the same skill set as these young guys we got coming in, but I hope they get to see the field a lot, especially with that D-line, get them some real game time experience. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a Sheffield or one of these guys break out and like going into next year, they're saying this is one of the best corners in the country. I see that.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I'm just going off of what you hear from Coombs and what I saw in spring game. It just looks like Arnett and Ward are solidified now, and Sheffield, like they've made every inclination has been they're all going to play, and Coombs is saying, like you said, Joe, they could go 6 deep now. I don't think we go 6 deep when the season starts, but I think our number 4 to our number 1 is a lot closer than anybody else's number 4 to number 1.
Yeah, when you talk about skill set on the young guys, I think the skill set is they're bigger. They're not 5'10". These dudes are over 6 foot when you look at Okuda and Wade, and Williamson. So I think that makes your skill set stronger when you got a wingspan. So, yeah, I'm really excited about the secondary. I am really curious to see if Eric Smith or Jordan Fuller win that other safety spot next to Webb. Smith has always been kind of a banger, but he's been banged up. And then Fuller, he's supposed to be a thumper too, and don't count out that Jason Wint from Brooklyn.
I'd like a lot of depth.
I'd like to see Smith get that job, but Fuller, that kid's going to be good. And what are they saying about that freshman safety we got? What's that kid?
Isaiah Pryor. Yeah, they got him in here to 2 deep after Webb on 11 Warriors depth chart. So, yeah, we'll see.
I like it. And
we'll just we skipped over the linebackers quickly, but we'll just touch on them. We know this crew pretty well. So interesting, with Booker sliding out to the Sam linebacker, you got Worley taking over in the middle for Raekwon, and then Baker is going to do his thing on the weak side and make plays. So very interesting to see how Worley holds up. I know a lot of people say you need to put on weight to play middle, but I kind of disagree with that nowadays with all of the up-tempo and spread-type offenses, I think you don't need to be 245 or 255 or something at the middle. So I am curious to see how he handles it. I'm sure he's intelligence-wise, he's been around forever. He's a senior, so he knows the defense inside and out and can communicate it. But I want to see how Booker and Worley play and evolve throughout the year. Jeff, you have any takes on Worley sliding over?
No. If there's any linebacker on the field, I would have trusted to move to the middle this year would have been Worley. Hilliard backing him up, Keandre Jones backing up the weak side, Malik Harrison backing up Booker. I think those three, we're going to see a lot of those three as well. It's just healthy, just if they can stay healthy. Booker's had issues. Worley playing that middle. There's a lot of contact, of course. Just pretty much just watching them to see how their health is, because they got plenty of talent.
Hello.
I don't know. Worley. I mean, I've got my. We'll see. I mean, but it's not. I get what you're saying, Joe. That you don't need as big a guy anymore because it's such a pass-friendly, up-tempo type of offenses you're facing. But we're still Big Ten football. The middle guy has to go and challenge the guard a lot of plays in that league, man. And you got to have them pounds to do that.
Yeah. Again, health is going to be key, like you said, Jeff.
You guys for a second there. Sorry.
That's all right. I'm curious to see Malik Harrison, Keandre Jones, Hilliard. We saw a little bit of. I just want to see them.
I can't wait. I haven't really seen any of those guys, frankly. I'm excited to see what's behind them. I think there's a lot there. I just ain't never seen it.
Right. Moving to special teams, this is, I think, the most underrated position, and that's the punter. We got a sophomore punter replacing All-American in the Kangaroo, the Ginger Kangaroo at that. So Drew Chrisman coming in. He's kind of a big boy, 6'3", 212. I like that. Don't really know much about this kid. Didn't get to see him at all in a spring game, so curious to see how he lays it out and how consistent he is, really. You guys heard anything about him?
Just his high school.
No.
I mean, that's all I know about him. But he was like the number one kid, right? Well, he was punt the shit out of the ball. So I'll trust that he's going to be good. For as good as the Aussie has been, we don't punt that much. Games that guy having 1 or 2 punts. But when you need them, they're super important. I feel like the only thing that has kept Michigan in the game, their punter had the best day of his life against us.
Yeah.
When we played Alabama a couple years ago, the punting. So I mean, it's nice to have when you need it, and we'll see, I guess.
I think those are the positions you need when you get into those next level games, like playing your rival or playing a playoff game or a championship game. You got to have all phases, and that includes punter most importantly.
It's huge. You rip off that one, get the bounce. You rip off that 165-yarder, 70-yarder, and flip the field on them. It's
exactly
deadly.
And then we're going to be trying out some new punt returners, so that'll be interesting. I am curious to see Kendall Sheffield back there. They got him and McCall returning punts, so curious to see how sure-handed they are or aren't.
Really? They got Sheffield?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
McCall's probably got better shakes. Sheffield's obviously a little taller, but they're similar in weight, so that'll be interesting. Kick returners, Campbell and KJ, that's pretty much the same as last year, wasn't it?
The same thing with Samuel. I think that Campbell's becoming too important to this team to have him back there on that team. I think we got 20 other guys that are pretty fucking talented that could handle that. I would get Campbell off that squad ASAP.
All right.
I'd like to see J.K. Dobbins back there returning kicks.
Yeah, somebody.
But I think we're going to see a variety of guys probably all through fall, maybe even the first couple games. But we have to get better in the return game in both punt and kicks.
What about EGW?
The bottom of the country.
Special teams freak. Make EGW captain of your special teams and let him return them back there.
I got no problem with him. I haven't seen him do it, so we're pretty much flying
No,
blind.
but we know he's got the speed.
Right. The hands and decision making quickly are the main question points. Just because we haven't seen it,
It seems like if a really undersized guy like EGW is, where they find success at this level and the next is in the return game, and I don't know why we don't utilize him there, because the guy when he's in there on special teams, he's always making plays.
Yeah, we'll see. Seems like there's about 50 guys you could plug in there, honestly.
I know.
So yeah, I get your point about putting starters back there. It's legit. Kicker. So this is my favorite position to discuss. As you know, we're bringing back the fat German, Nürnberger, Hindenburg or whatever. Dude is 6'1", 225. Jesus. Oh my God. Do some sit-ups. And so we got was his name Blake Highbill coming in the fall, paying his own way like a man, like a real man would. And so this is going to be a real competition. I'm not sold on Nürnberger. You guys seen anything that makes you positive?
I love that Urban Meyer was about 2 feet away from him when he was kicking during the game.
Yeah, he always says that. I love that.
Yeah, breathing.
And then he shanked. He shanked one pretty far left. I think they had him redo it, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, they let him kick.
It's gonna. Meyer said it's for sure gonna be 100% open competition. Who makes more kicks in the fall? So, best man wins. I got no favorite either way. I just want whoever kicking the ball that makes the most of them. So, and it seems like that's going to be the case. So, we'll see how that shakes out in fall ball.
I mean,
I don't want to get in a tight game against Oklahoma or something and have a guy that's never kicked before.
As long as we're better kicking this year than we were last year, I'll be fine with that. We sucked.
Right. I agree. All right. Anybody else you want to discuss on the depth chart, or are we going to get to my favorite segment of the show?
Well, hold on. We were saying it a little pre-show. Just want to touch on the other quarterback we didn't really touch on, Johnny Football. I mean, Tate Martell. Right. And, this kid, I don't know about him.
Careful, he may be listening.
All right.
He has radar or antenna ears, He has his radar up.
Don't go all fucking Johnny Football on us, man. Ball out.
Yeah, we won't see much of him. And we might have seen the last of him for at least another year. He's definitely redshirting. I don't see how he doesn't. Yeah. I know he said he would rather move positions than redshirt. I think that was a quote of his back last season.
Shocking.
But I don't think he's moving positions either.
Right.
Where's he going to move to?
Right.
I think he said. I think his quote was something like, "I'd play special teams as long as I got saw the field."
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you want your fourth quarterback covering kicks.
Right.
At 5'10", 200 pounds, it's not going to be the smallest.
You know what? For Martell, I think that's a great idea. If he can go down there and play hard, make some plays on special teams,
kick return.
Maybe you could get his troops behind him. All right, this is a tough dude, man. We'll go to war with this guy. Right now, he seems a little bit Hollywood for me. I've said that before. Mm-hmm. Just concerns me.
Right. So yeah.
Well, you win awards called like Gatorade National Player of the Year. Those sometimes give you a little inflated ego.
Yeah.
when you're like the best player in high school football in America.
Yeah. An undefeated career in high school.
Yeah.
Never lost 4 years, never lost a game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if Johnny can go undefeated his whole starting career at Ohio State, he's gonna be my fucking favorite guy ever too.
Oh yeah, if you in 3 years, if he's just like Heisman candidate, cover Sports Illustrated, got a supermodel girlfriend. Yeah. Tate Martell takes Columbus. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think if he steps out of bounds, he's got plenty of people that are going to put him in check, and not just coaches. I think the culture inside the WAC is pretty solid, with or without Tate Martell, and I think he'll be taken care of.
I just had some conversations regarding that. Some of my buddies up here are big Spartan fans, and that whole program's just imploding on itself with all the.
Yeah, are they throwing stones?
Hold up, we have a Twitter question about that, so don't go too far with it.
Okay.
Yes.
All good with Tate Martell?
Yeah, I think we've covered all we need to cover.
Yeah.
We laid him out a little bit.
See you next spring.
Yeah. Yep. So this segment is going to be awesome. We actually got real Twitter questions, which is mind blowing in itself.
I love it.
Yeah. So
I love it.
You sure they're not bots?
These are no, they're not bots. Well, they could be. These are real questions that you guys need to answer. So these are just kind of like a general state of college football kind of questions, just kind of headlines and things. So our first question comes from, oh God, this is a long one. I don't think you're allowed to have this many characters in a username. At Jimmy's Hardballs Wear Winged Helmets 1975.
Solid handle.
That doesn't even sound right.
Sean, okay.
So
yeah, I definitely want to hear the Twitter handles with the questions.
Yeah. So his question is, we are in fucking Italy right now, losers. Is this a good recruiting tool?
Sean, you have the honors.
We are in Italy. Who's in Italy?
He's referring to Michigan's football team. They took their little pilgrimage to Italy.
I don't see what it brings you. I think the only thing that it brings Michigan doing that type of shit is Harbaugh's name's in the fucking headlines for being a goofball. And as everyone knows, there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? Your name's in the headlines, you're doing crazy shit, and some kids are gonna gravitate to it. I don't think that Harbaugh's doing that great a job recruiting. Frankly, he's pulled some kids out of New Jersey. That's always kind of been a friendly place. Hires their parents and does stupid shit like that. They basically reclaimed Michigan, which has been Michigan State's, frankly, for the last few years, or at least Michigan State's, gotten a lot of those kids that would always traditionally go to Michigan. Now Michigan's getting all those kids again, and they're getting the Ohio leftovers, or even some of the top tier guys out of there too, where Michigan State was getting them. So I don't see any big national names like that aren't kind of gimmies going to Michigan like I see them going to Ohio State right now. I mean, it just amazes me what's going on at Ohio State with the spring game. I was actually a little concerned about this upcoming recruiting class, 2018 recruiting class. Is like, man, there's not a ton of local kids here. Or my one favorite kid, Jackson Carman, looks like he might bail, and I'm freaking out about the whole class, and we're pulling national kids like a mofo.
So to the question, you think that taking the whole team to Italy doesn't do much for recruiting purposes?
I don't think so at all. I mean, I could be wrong here. I guess when I was 18, I probably wanted to go to Italy, but I'm going to go to that. Fuck no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff,
I'd rather go to the college football playoffs than Italy.
Yeah, Sean. Most of the kids at Ohio State's recruiting had nothing similar to your background at 18 years old. They don't give a fuck about Italy.
I wouldn't think, right?
If these guys from the South here, or and play inner city schools that maybe they play for a nice private Catholic school that's a powerhouse, but that's not the neighborhood they live in. They don't give a fuck about going to Italy. They want to win national championships and go to the pros.
Right.
You're definitely not finding any talent over there. So it's not like you're showcasing your program to Italy. Well, that's doing no good. Right. There's gonna be one or two kids that you actually look after or look into that might be interested by the fact that you travel for spring ball. But not even a handful, I wouldn't think. They think it's kind of cool, but they don't. I can't imagine some of these kids. The kids I'm talking about, are saying, oh, we get to travel abroad.
Yeah, it's always been their life
internationally.
dream to see the fucking Parthenon or Vatican City.
No,
Yeah, they're like, I don't care about none of that shit. I don't even
they
know what that shit is.
want
Right.
they want to wait till they sign that contract and then go to the Versace store and buy the bags and
Right.
shit. They don't care about what Italy has to offer. I can't imagine. So go ahead, Harbaugh, do your thing, take your milk,
Yeah.
enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I just to polish that one off, I think the kids really only want to take their 5 official visits, fly across the country, and that's their idea of travel, you know. So, next question. We just have 3 of these, so don't get too stressed. Next question. Oh, this comes from fucking Michigan, too. Jesus Christ. At Dino's Winter Skull Cap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nice username, dude. What the fuck? Anyway, so his question is Dino's Winter Skull Cap. I guess that's D'Antonio he's referring to. Well, yeah, judging by this question, it is. WTF? Do East Lansing chicks not like to have sex with football players? Little dicks? Question mark.
That's fucking awesome.
So I've never been to East Lansing. I can't really comment.
One of us has, I think.
Yeah, I've been to East Lansing, and no, I mean, as far as the reputation up here, I've got some friends. They're a couple. The dad, the dude went to Michigan. The wife went to Michigan State, and they were arguing Michigan State the one day. And he's like, "That's right, honey. All the ugly girls went to ugly smart girls go to Michigan, and dumb pretty girls go to Michigan State. So I don't. They're party girls. Michigan State's a party school. You'd think they'd be more down with that. Yeah. It's just I don't know if that Ann Arbor PC culture's leaking too far over to the west, or what. Yeah. But I think everybody in the EL's down, man. I don't know what's going on there. It's got to be egregious. Maybe it's some Wolverine plants trying to up in their program. I don't know.
Yeah, Wolverine fake news.
That's right. The storm is a brewing over in you said the EL. Is that correct terminology, Sean?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on up there, but it's not working. D'Antonio needs to fix it. His squeaky. He's got that squeaky clean image. Like Tressel kind of carried.
No, I was just talking to my buddy. D'Antonio, what he's done in East Lansing has been nothing short of a miracle, I think, for a program like that. He's built it up basically based on nothing. Took it from absolute shit to a actual national, not to the Ohio State Bama level, but respectable. They've beaten us more than I'd like to admit, and they've beaten some other really good bowl teams. But what's happened here after their playoff bid and that shit season last year, and now all these allegations and all the stuff that's going on, basically, D'Antonio, you're starting from square one again. You fucking built that thing up and just ripped it down in a fucking season and a half.
I would say he's behind the 8 ball. He's not at square one. I'd say another losing season along with this huge cloud hanging over them off the field. This is the kind of stuff that gets dudes fired. I think he's done another 500 season.
The AD, I think, probably is more in line for that. I think D'Antonio is much loved, and I think he's going to get every benefit of the doubt. They love Coach D'Antonio up here.
The thing is,
it doesn't last forever, and I just don't know. Does he even got the fire in his belly to basically commit to another 10 years of building a program up? Or do you just go back to Sparty being Sparty, saying, you know what, we're going to be good we're going to have a decent team every 3 to 4 years, which, is where Sparty's been historically most of our lives, except under the last, 6-7 years with D'Antonio. I see him probably going back to that. I guess for Michigan to get back on a national stage, it probably had to come to that at some point. There's just only so many kids that are in the area are going to relocate to Michigan.
Jeff, do you have any 2 cents to add on that?
No, just that you can't constantly have the sexual, especially the charges, the sexual assaults.
Yeah.
You get kids fighting and kids doing drugs. They're going to make national comments about you in the media. Free weed school, whatever else. But sexual assault charges, that stuff will stick with a coach Look at our Bryles. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
nobody will
but
touch him because, I mean, I'm not saying it's the same thing, but I'm saying because of the nature of those charges, that draws a lot of negative attention.
That's a stain.
yeah, but as long as you can maintain your integrity and you got to go hardline with it, and that's what I like so much about Herb is I think he's getting quality kids, and I think he's got a hardline position because we're so loaded, so deep. We don't need any one guy anymore.
Exactly.
Like,
Dean-
hey,
I think,
look,
and
asshole,
the thing
fuck
is,
out, man.
D'Antonio's feeling that pressure because he doesn't have that. Because of Michigan's
Well,
emergence
the
back
problem is,
in.
and I don't know if you're allowed to say the names on the air, and I won't, but the three guys that are unnamed yet in the sexual assault thing from the rumors that are going around are three of their best players. They're studs.
Yeah, this tells you what Dino has to recruit. He has to take chances on guys. He can't.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Can't wait for 5 stars to fall in his lap like Herb can. You know. Yeah. So I think we hammered that one home pretty quickly. We didn't really answer the question, but I don't know if East Lansing girls like to have sex with football players or not.
I bet
it was
they,
rhetorical.
I know. I bet they do.
All right. Question number 3 comes from deep in the South. At Roll Nickalusa Red Ass 6969.
Oh, I love Twitter.
He has a quote. We suck right now. Ever get tired of hearing this broken record from Saban? Go.
I don't pay. Okay, I'll take this one, Sean. I don't pay attention to Saban, so I don't get sick and tired of him saying anything because I don't listen to much of it. So go back home.
Well, is that what Saban's saying right now for his new team, like coming into his fall practice or spring ball and shit?
They just had their spring game yesterday, and walking off the field, of course, he's like, Mr. Debbie Downer, we suck.
Yeah, no, I think that's typical Saban. He's always, pushing his guys, but everyone loves them. They got a quarterback that's been there now, I guess, but nah. I come away from the spring game thinking it's Ohio State's to win.
Yeah.
And it'll all be on JT Barrett. Every other piece is there.
Yeah.
Now, if we get I always think
I'm in agreement with you, Sean. I am in agreement with you.
If someone could throw it over the top on us all day and burn some of our younger guys, maybe. But how are you gonna have the time to sit in that pocket with that D line?
Exactly.
And to me, the only way we won't win is if we're not scoring, and the talent we've got on the O line at the special positions, and all red ass Saban's trying to do is get his guys fired up.
Yeah.
And we're not very good. We suck.
There's been a lot of chirping going on outside of the football field from some of the former Alabama players, specifically I think Reuben Foster and some of the guys entering the draft this year, saying that when Lane was there, they used to love blowing up the offense so that Saban would unload on Kiffin. So it tells you, like, it sounds kind of like there's a little bit of infighting, or maybe not everybody's on the same page in that locker room.
I don't know if the players, especially probably the D players, I can't imagine they would like Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, everyone knows is a douche.
Right.
And Saban didn't like him. His defense probably didn't like him.
Right.
And anytime they had a chance to make him look bad, they were all about that.
Right.
Now, probably a lot of it's, you played sports, a lot of it's in jest. You're always trying to make the other guys look bad. Someone's getting in trouble at practice, don't let it be me. Make it be the other guy.
Exactly. It's somewhat unfair, though, with some of those defensive recruits going against their offense. But
yeah, Bama's usually got an O-line that isn't going to lay down for you. I mean,
but I tell you what, in the next recruiting class, now we can briefly go over the amount of recruiting that we accomplished last weekend. But Clemson, the 2018 class, Clemson is building is going to rival ours.
Yeah.
Clemson is building a beast.
Yeah.
And coming off a national title, I mean, it kind of helped us too. But Bama we might see Bama start to not guarantee those number one, recruit classes like they used to for till 8 years straight or whatever. Mm-hmm. Clemson and us are in Florida State too. They're still pulling in a lot of big talent. So I think it's not going to be just Bama cleaning up with 25 stars every recruiting period now.
Yeah, it's going to be spread out a little bit more. What do you guys think about schedule going forward? You want to do a recruiting show on the 2018 class in a month or two, or you want to do some more Twitter questions? We can just do a show strictly on those. Those are pretty entertaining.
Oh God, I hope we can get a whole show's worth of Twitter questions.
Well, we can do shorter shows.
Let that mailbag fill up. We'll answer that shit.
Right.
Yeah. We'll send out a little notification.
Right.
Send us your questions. We're gonna make them all in a big show, and definitely include the handles.
Right. Yeah. So we'll do a big mail bag show about a month from now, like sometime end of May. So we can accumulate a bunch.
Sure.
Sounds good. All right, boys. Good show. Nice spring game recap, and I'm all fired up about our new segment. So we'll see if this continues. And,
that was fun. Keep them coming in. Be a smart ass.
Right. So
I can promise you will not get educated answers from us.
That's right. All right.
But they will be ridiculous.
Correct.
Beautiful. All right, boys. Don't forget to visit our website, thebuckeyecast.com. Hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the happy shit. Email me. Tweet at Jeff. Sean is off the grid, so ignore him.
I'm in the bunker here.
Send him smoke signals.
That's right.
And don't forget to visit our affiliates in the show notes and on our website. Have a good one, folks.
Throw that to me over some ham radio.
Ooh, I could go for a ham sandwich right now. All right.
Yum.
Later, boys.
Later.
It's fun.